Captain Voss, log entry 2.07. We have officially landed on the Vreylor Prime monastery pad for the second time today. The landing was completely smooth. Except for the massive cloud of repulverized granite, our thrusters blew directly into the faces of the waiting monks. Elder Vreylor hasn't said a word yet, but his expression suggests that our welcome has expired, along with his patience. We are preparing to head down a secondary vertical shaft that allegedly bypasses the collapsed upper ruins. Commander Jordan and the crew of the Solace are still white-knuckling the frontier side of the lattice, trying to keep the space relic from performing an unauthorized spatial folding maneuver. I've told Calder to keep a physical tracking tether on Jax at all times, and Ensign Brant is currently tracking our subsurface telemetry with a look of pure, unadulterated panic. If we lose another primary system to curiosity, the Warden won't have to destroy us. Chief Calder will handle it herself. End log.
Cosmic tapestry unrolls. The destiny of the line-bearer calls from the deepest abysses of creation. But first, a brief intermission for property maintenance. On the exterior stone patio of the Vreylor Prime monastery, the air is thick with the scent of ozone and freshly disturbed dirt. Elder Balin stands completely motionless, holding an old-fashioned straw broom. He looks like a timeless monument of cosmic stoicism, except for the fact that a fresh 2-inch layer of gray rock dust is currently sitting on top of his bald head like a snowy cap.
Elder Vreylor, we returned.
So I have observed, Linebearer. My monks spent the last 4 hours clearing the entryways. We had just finished.
Look, Elder, if it makes you feel any better, our ship's bridge looks like the inside of a flour mill. If anyone needs a vacuum cleaner, it's us.
Elder Vreylor turns his slow, unblinking gaze to Moreno.
The universe does not require vacuums, Doctor. It requires balance. And perhaps a crew that does not use an ancient holy site as a brake pad.
Calder tugging violently on a heavy nylon cargo strap tied directly around Jax's waist.
Move it along, Rennick. Stay within 3 feet of my perimeter.
Jax waddling forward, his pockets bulging with random loose bolts.
Calder, this rope is really chafing my tactical harness. What if I see an ancient artifact and need to jump over a chasm to examine its structural integrity?
Then you will swing like a pendulum, Jax, and I will leave you dangling there until the convergence is over. There are no exceptions.
Instead of the grand geometric stone archways of the upper ruins, Elder Vreylor led the crew to a small, unassuming wooden shed situated right behind the monastery's communal kitchen. Inside, hidden beneath a pile of spare burlap sacks and broken pottery, sat a heavy iron platform suspended by 4 rusted cables that disappeared into a dark, vertical hole in the bedrock.
Oh, fantastic. An ancient, undocumented freight elevator. Surely this is perfectly up to code with reliquary safety standards.
Milo clutches his datapad tightly to his chest, eyes wide as he peers over the edge.
Captain, my sensor board is completely losing its mind. According to these readings, this shaft doesn't just go down, it breaks through 3 separate tectonic plates. If this elevator cable snaps, we'll have exactly 42 seconds to contemplate our life choices before hitting the planet's mantle.
Thank you, Ensign Brant. Your mathematical optimism has been officially logged, and my blood pressure has adjusted accordingly.
Is this the way to the route, Elder?
It is the descent of the initiates. The upper chamber was for visitors. This shaft leads directly to the primary plumbing of the Warden's cradle.
Jordan's voice crackled violently through Voss's chest comm badge, paired with a sharp, high-pitched whine of engineering static.
Voss, do you copy? We are experiencing some major operational friction out here.
Go ahead, Jordan. We're currently boarding a very questionable elevator. What's your status?
Kaela is currently trying to bypass a living power relay using a standard titanium crescent wrench because Solace refused to open the primary maintenance access hatch.
Kaela's voice echoed in the background of the transmission, shouting furiously.
Tell your organic toaster that if he doesn't stop changing the structural layout of my engineering deck, I am going to fill his secondary plasma vents with liquid insulation foam. I don't care if it hurts his feelings.
Solace's voice came through the shared link, calm and smooth, yet tinged with a distinct condescension.
My structural shifts are a response to your primitive mechanical vibrations, Chief Engineer. Your wrench possesses a very hostile resonance. Voss, just hurry up. The floating continents out here are starting to rotate clockwise, and Archivist Lethos is currently hiding under his desk in the archive hololam reciting ancient maker funeral dirges.
We're moving, Yorn. Watch your drift.
The iron platform rattled down the vertical shaft, with a terrifying, rhythmic clank, clank, clank that suggested at least two of the primary gears were missing several teeth. As they descended, the stone walls changed from rough granite into smooth, pulsing biological tissue, thick, golden veins that throbbed with a slow, heavy liquid warmth. Hart pressed her medical scanner against a section of the golden wall that pulsed rhythmically.
The cellular density down here is astronomical. Captain, this isn't machinery at all. The planet isn't containing the Warden. The planet is the Warden's life support system.
Wow, it looks like a giant glowing stomach. Do you think it's hungry?
Rennick, sit down and shut up!
You know, I spent 8 years in medical school learning how to treat humanoid organisms. No one ever prepared me for a scenario where I might have to perform an appendectomy on a planetary ecosystem. Where do you even put the stethoscope?
Guys, the biofrequency isn't just humming. It's actually broadcasting an encrypted subspace carrier wave. It's trying to handshake with our ship's primary communications array.
Stellar horizons. His voice drifts gently from Voss's datapad, cutting in on Milo.
Ensign Brant is correct. The terminal interface is directly ahead, Dr. Moreno. I am detecting a centralized neural cluster at the bottom of this shaft. However, my internal systems are experiencing a significant data overflow. My brother, Solace, is accelerating his harmonic core to match our descent velocity.
Can you maintain the inversion, Stellar?
I can maintain it, Captain, but the structural shear is causing my primary lighting grid to fluctuate.
The elevator platform hit the bottom of the shaft with a heavy, wet thud, settling into a shallow pool of glowing, golden, amniotic fluid. The chamber they stood in was vast, spherical, and completely lined with towering pillars of interlocking crystalline geometry that looked exactly like a giant prehistoric telephone switchboard. In the center of the room, a massive column of golden light extended from the floor to the ceiling. Inside the light, a translucent, shifting shape was visible, a silhouette that looked vaguely humanoid, but possessed 4 distinct arms and an outline that flickered like static electricity on an old monitor.
Linebearer, you have entered the terminal.
Voss stepped into the golden puddle, his boots splashing noisily.
I am here. We are trying to stop the convergence. The frontier cage is collapsing, and my ship tells me our worlds are about to try and occupy the exact same space.
The space is already won, Arlen Voss. The makers merely drew a line through the middle and called it a border. But the lines are bleeding out. The outer dark is pressing against the frontier relic. If you do not lock the sequence from this console, the anchor will shatter, and the void will consume both sectors.
Captain, look at these controls. There are no buttons. It requires a specific DNA sequence to initialize the lock.
Oh, it looks like a handprint scanner, like the ones at the gym.
Jax, if you put your hand on that thing, I will personally throw you into the planetary stomach.
The technician is correct. The interface requires the sequence carried within the line-bearer's genetic lineage. Voss, place your hand upon the root.
Voss looks back at his crew. Hart gives a small, encouraging nod. Milo stands perfectly frozen, holding his breath while checking his readings one last time. Moreno is busy checking his pulse with a look of intense self-pity. Calder is holding Jax's tether like a leash.
Yorn, do you hear me? We're at the main switch. Get ready to lock your side down on my mark.
We're ready, Voss. Kaela just managed to wedge her wrench into the primary stabilizer housing. Solace is screaming at us in 6 different dead languages, but the power grid is holding. Do it now.
Voss takes a deep breath, steps forward, and slams his palm into the floating liquid metal interface.
Engaging primary lock.
The entire planet of Vreylor Prime stops vibrating instantly. The golden light in the chamber flares with a blinding absolute brilliance that turns the world completely white.